Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we talk about the pretty, twisted side of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a new kinkster or have years of experience, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us on this journey as we talk about our personal experiences and use the knowledge we've gained over 28 years of being involved in both private and professional aspects of this lifestyle to help you explore every facet of kink.
Get set for an adventure. Not only will you learn and grow, but we promise loads of laughter, turning each episode into a fun party. So fasten your seatbelt and let's get this show started. Pink Kink runs off the generosity of our devoted patrons.
As a patron, you will become a member of our special Discord server, receive some adorable Pink Kink stickers, as well as have access to a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast. Patrons also get discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
In addition, our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get special audio and video episodes. And finally, patrons at our highest tier will be recognized as producers, both here on the podcast and on our website.
If you would like to become a patron, you can visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click the link at pinkkinkpodcast.com. Mwahaha, my master evil plan where I get to solo an episode has come to fruition.
Really?
I mean, I tried.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, well, I didn't see you. You're really
oh my
short.
God, I feel like
see you behind the microphone.
I feel like which movie is that in? I don't know if it's Disney or Pixar or something where it's like, oh, I know. It's the Bear movie that Phil Collins does the soundtrack on, Brother Bear, where the guy's like, it goes, my poor wife. I've lost my wife, my poor wife.
Oh,
and she's like, I'm here.
I'm right here.
Sorry, that I probably could have done that better, but I have severe dungeon hangover this morning. So I'm exhausted.
I have mom hangover.
You did? Oh, well, yeah we hung. See, if I hang out with my mom, it's way worse than just a hangover.
Yeah, she came over yesterday. We did a lot, and now I'm exhausted. And we did more this morning. I was like, oh my God, Ma, all this shit. But my garden looks amazeballs.
How does your garden grow?
Very bushy.
You can get it waxed.
Not my actual plant garden. No, I cannot. Oh God, you want to hear something hilarious from this morning?
I couldn't resist.
Hold on. We're walking around the farmer's market. I picked up a giant cucumber bush. Go ahead.
No, it's too easy.
Go ahead.
That's low-hanging fruit. I'd like to work harder for it.
It actually really is. Yeah. Anyway, so my mother is standing there going, oh my God, did you know that this was a thing? And I'm like, oh my God, what? I turn around, she's pointing at a citronella plant.
She's never seen a citronella plant
She's never
before?
seen a citronella plant in
Where
her entire life.
Where did she think the citronella came from?
That's what I asked her. I was like, Mom, how do you think they make the candles? And she goes, I don't know. I guess I never thought about it. I was like, oh my God.
A mommy citronella and a daddy citronella are in love.
They make a seed.
Oh,
my poor mom. Oh my God. I love her to death, but sometimes. And you know what else is really fun to do to her now?
Yeah.
There's this woman on TikTok who does when you're boomer mom, and then that's the point. She does all this stuff. And I showed this to my mother because every single one of these is accurate to my mother. And she's like, well, that's not fair. I was like, are they true? Yeah, but I was like, okay then.
My mother's blonde. I'm going to tell you one story that'll show you my mother's blonde better than any other story. She was at the beach. And my mother this is one of the things I'm like her about. We just talk to people. You're hanging out on the beach, there's somebody on the blanket next to you, you just talk. So she started talking to this woman on the blanket next to her. And I guess the woman introduced herself. But this is how she introduced herself. She's like, I'm Sandy.
Oh my God.
And
yes,
my mother
yes, you are.
And my mother said, yeah, I have the same problem too. I mean, I thought I cleared off the sand off the blanket, but.
Yeah. Yeah, that's blonde. So I guess this is the part where we get actually into the episode so we don't forget to do the episode part.
I am so excited about this episode.
Well, because you didn't have to research it and you don't have to take the lead on it and you can sit back and take a nap. Yeah.
Yes.
Bitch.
I get to be the sidekick and I am so looking forward to this.
You're excited every single time we do this.
Hint, hint.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
I guess I should dig into my list of stuff that I need to work on.
Please.
Okay. We're going to run out of stuff.
There's always stuff.
Okay, Rara's master evil plan to get me to contribute more is actually working.
Oh, thank God.
Only took 3 years.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Unless it's your period.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, I guess, no, that would still be better late than never.
No, I'd rather have never.
Well,
as in never again.
As somebody who doesn't get one, I highly recommend it.
I was threatening to, claw it out myself the last time and, give myself a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Of course, that would have probably ended up with me dying if
Well,
I did it with,
yourself.
Wolverine claws.
If you did it yourself.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that.
That's probably not a good idea.
No.
That's a blood play that I am not into.
Found another blood player last night.
Yeah, you were telling me.
So happy.
Oh, so excited for you.
So is he, because he's like, can't really find a lot of players around here who do that stuff. And I went, hello, hi.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you.
And then we were talking about him maybe topping me for impact. And I said, and, if blood happens to appear, better.
Yay, bonus. Bonus blood? Is that?
Whatever you want to call it. There's blood. I'm happy. There's blood last night because I was doing needles.
Yeah.
And our girl Cindy.
Excuse me, I'm going to go vomit.
Yeah, our girl Cindy's working towards her Lobos. So we did 18 gauge last night. She started with 13 of them because 13's her lucky number, which is fine. But the Virgo in me was like, that's an odd number. How do I line up the needles so it looks even and pretty when you're throwing an odd number at me?
I can tell you how to do that. It's you do one in the center as your focal point, and then you balance it out on either side.
That's what I did.
Yeah. That's cute. That's the only way I can handle odd numbers.
It really drove me nuts. I went, great.
I hate odd numbers for that exact reason. But once I learned that I can use one as my center point and then branch everything out, I was like, okay, I feel better.
Yeah, it did help.
Yeah.
All right, my job now to sit here and be quiet, which I'm not very good at, but I'm going to try.
All right, well, you take that.
My life story, it's unbalanced.
It's unbalanced. Everything is unbalanced. All right. So I decided to do something very me. Let's be honest. This one is very me. It's a why kind of thing. It's definitely more psychological than it is.
Shocked. The why?
Yeah. You're shocked? I didn't shock you recently.
You wanted to know about the why?
I always want to know the why.
That's my point. That's why I'm shocked.
That's why I said it's very me. But I would like to say that this episode, unlike a lot of our episodes,
I don't know what you're talking about,
was not inspired in any way by TikTok or Instagram or any social media. However, it was inspired by somebody on social media a lot. Like, it permeates this person's life to a point where I think it's unhealthy, but, whatever.
Hi.
Are you the problem?
I'm the problem. It's me.
This was actually inspired by Princess Rara.
Aww.
And it was inspired by something that I this has got to be like a Roman Empire thing for me because I think about it all the time. Way back in the day, in pandemic times.
Do we need like the blue, 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 blue sound effect or something?
Oh, yeah.
Back in time?
Yeah, probably. The Doctor Who, yeah. So anyway, way back during pandemic times, Rara was getting antsy a little bit. You want to tell that story real quick for me?
Well, I wasn't getting hit.
Which is a problem.
Which is a big problem. Not to mention the fact that I was an extrovert living in an antisocial world. Times were tough.
God, I was happy. Times
were tough. So I did what any extroverted masochist does. I hit myself.
Yeah.
A lot. Well, first of all, I stimulated the economy. You know that check we got where we stimulate the economy? Mm-hmm. I stimulated the economy by buying more kink toys.
I stimulated the economy with that check by buying this exact computer.
Yeah. No, I bought kink toys.
My baby is 4 years old and still going strong.
So I would get the toy and I would sit with it on my sofa while I was watching TV and hit myself. And it would take a couple of weeks before the toy would make it from the sofa downstairs in the basement to be put away.
Yes.
Because I would use it. Make sure I liked it, see how it worked, how it felt.
Testing it out a little bit before you use it on some unsuspecting person.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so can you give me, I know this part's hard for you, but can you give me a little insight as to why you did that in the first place? Like besides extrovert, like what was it about the act itself?
Well, the pain itself was very freeing. And I know that sounds weird, but for those who are masochists, they understand. I was struggling. I mean, in all seriousness, being an extrovert who can't be around people really kind of put me into a bit of a spiral.
And we're talking extroverted extrovert.
Yeah.
This is like the ultimate extrovert.
As John says, an extravert.
Yeah. Well, the super green version of the extrovert.
Yeah.
Rah-rah, we've said this before, but when you actually see it in person, it's like you're going, what the actual fuck? Rah-rah gets more high from hosting a munch than she does from doing the actual physical kink activities.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of peopling. It works for me. So the act of hitting myself, the pain helped stop the spiral.
Mm-hmm.
The pain allowed me to focus on something, and it brought me joy. Yes, pain brings me joy. Whether it's my pain or your pain, I don't really care. Just pain. I'm good. Just pain.
Super sadist.
Listen, I said to Naughty Nice last night, I said, I really want to fuck you up. You ready?
Oh my God, that's another idea for a t-shirt, by the way.
I really want to fuck you up?
No, well, besides that, the S, and then people are like, it's for super. No, it's for sadist.
Oh, yeah.
S is for sadist.
A super sadist. Oh.
But the caption would just be S is for sadist.
Yes.
Like we should do like alphabet shirts.
Okay.
M is for masochist. All right.
So does that answer your question?
Yeah,
okay.
That was actually perfect. And like every single thing you just said, I'm going to touch on and kind of explain.
Ooh, okay.
So that's really, really great. That's what I wanted.
I got my coffee.
You're all set?
Go. I did my job.
So I wanted to talk about, because I haven't been able to stop thinking about that particular thing for 4 years now? Because this was before the podcast even started.
Yeah.
I was so fascinated by this. And I don't mean fascinated the way I usually say fascinating or interesting, where I'm like, it's a placeholder for God, you're boring. This is legit. I'm absolutely fascinated by this. I am fully aware that I do that. People have called me out on it many times. And I even got the text message the other day, fix your face. Because Iro says my face has subtitles.
Those were not subtitles. Those were just titles.
Yeah.
Big titles.
They're just big blaring neon signs of expression. I can't help it. Anyway, so kink, BDSM, whatever it is, as self-care it actually provides people with the opportunity for self-expression, for exploration, helping out your emotional well-being. And some of them are ways that so we asked the question in our chat and we got lots of really interesting answers. And again, most of those kind of were along the same lines. But what I would like to do is figure out which ones you never thought of before. Because when I was researching this, I was like, I never realized that. Oh my God, that's fucking cool.
Ooh, game time.
Game time. So Rara, you're going to take this.
Okay.
You're going to play the game.
I'm going to play the game.
So welcome to, is it self-care or is it just no, that doesn't even work.
Or just insanity?
Or just crazy.
Yeah.
For Rara edition.
Can it be both?
Yes. But no, it's like, which one did you realize when you were doing it, or which one is kind of like, oh shit?
I didn't realize it at first.
Like any of it?
I didn't realize when I was doing it, the positive effects it was having at first. Mm-hmm. Which kind of makes sense because you're just doing it and then you go, wait a minute, I'm still doing it because it's giving me all these positives.
Yeah. So let's take a look at some of it. So
right.
What you talked about was stress relief and emotional release, right?
Yes.
That's a big one that we got from all of our answers in the chat. It's cathartic. It gives you really good sensations. It releases pent-up emotions and stress. It can also give you heightened arousal. All of this stuff we know already about kink, right?
Yep.
So I want to talk a little bit about each one of those. So stress relief and catharsis. I think the stress relief part was you, maybe not necessarily the catharsis part.
Now, if I need a catharsis, I put on like one of my sappy movies, and then I just let myself bawl my eyes out.
Good. That's emotional masochism.
Yeah, you know.
Sure. So for some people, engaging in the power dynamic aspect of BDSM provides a cathartic release from the stress, from emotional tension. It is focusing attention and the intensity of the power exchange activities as a distraction from daily stressors and provide a sense of relief. Now, that's me in a nutshell. That is the exact reason I come home and I little, because I can't fucking be an adult anymore. Like, I just can't. Because one, adulting is fucking hard. And two, it sucks.
Big time.
And as a little, that is not the state that I want to be in all day long. I can't. So I come home and that's what I get. It's a distraction from my daily life. It's a distraction from my job and all the stress that comes with it and all the bullshit. And it just feels better to have that all taken away. And I'm in a state of, I don't have to fucking think anymore.
Do you know why some doms like to do it?
Why?
Because it's the one area of their life they actually can control. And things go the way they want it to go. And things happen the way they want it to happen.
I 100% can see that.
And, you know, when you tell somebody to do something, they do it.
Mm-hmm. I can honestly see a lot of like nurses doing that and teachers and stuff like that, because like as much control as they need to have, there's the chaos factor in both of those jobs. So obviously when they come home, they're going to want to have more control, like actual control.
Yep.
Because the chaos factor is not good. So I don't see them having brats. I don't see them with a make me brat.
No. Well, I don't like make me brats. I mean, I wouldn't want to make me brat. I don't mind a smart-ass masochist. I wouldn't mind somebody who is bratty in the sense of being playful and silly, but I don't want to deal with make me.
Yeah, that's part of definitely where I'm at with that. So the physical sensation of things like spanking, for example, like what Rara was doing, hitting herself, can range from pleasurable. If you well, for Rara, the harder the better. But some people like the deerskin flogger, the massage kind of feeling.
That's a beautiful thing. But I need it in a mop flogger because I need it to be heavy.
You need a full body. So that's more of a deep tissue flogging.
Yep.
So yeah, it depends on the individual. So Rara is going to be vastly. I probably would. You did the deerskin on me once, right? Yeah,
you would
I
like
liked
to do
it.
Yeah, because it is so incredibly soft.
It feels great, and it didn't bruise like fuck.
Doesn't bruise at all.
I love that.
Especially
great.
because mine's not a mop flogger. It's a smaller one.
Could you do a deerskin mop flogger?
I've been flogged by a deerskin mop flogger.
I want to do that. That sounds like so much fun.
It's super heavy.
Yeah, that sounds great. I actually think I would really like that. But anyway, like it's the sensory stimulation part of it. Some people get aroused by it. Some people just are like, oh, that's a really nice, relaxing massage. But it's the physical gratification of the physical sensation.
It also helps with pain.
Right. So that's the next one. It's endorphin release. We talk about that with BDSM and kink all the time. It triggers the release of the endorphins, which are neurotransmitters, and that acts as painkillers. We heard a lot of that when we asked that question as a refocus of the pain area. It's not like if you have fibromyalgia or something like that, your entire body fucking hurts.
I get it because I have a bum knee. So like literally as I'm sitting here now talking to you, my knee hurts.
Yep.
So if I just start hitting my knee, that changes the pain into a different kind of pain. And then that works.
Well, it produces the euphoria, the relaxation. It gets you what Rara used to call like the similar to the runner's high thing. It can also do emotional regulation. It provides you with opportunities for emotional regulation growth. It navigates intense emotional and psychological experiences, but it can be controlled. So we've talked before about reliving past experiences with BDSM, controlling it. It's about it's not just the dominant partner, the top, that has the control either. It's when the bottom has the control. And it helps you develop resilience, coping skills, all kinds of shit because it's consensual.
Right. Because like when you have fibromyalgia, or in my case, the knee pain, I sure as fuck didn't consent to that pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just stuck with it. So to be able to take some of my power back by controlling the pain, yeah, that helps.
And then this one I also see for you, because you've talked about this before, emotional processing.
Yeah.
You said that when you get hit, you take it, you absorb it and process it, and then you go back.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about, like, do you ever feel kind of vulnerable in those positions or no?
I don't. I know a lot of people do, and that's what they like about it. I find it, for me, it does the opposite. It makes me feel stronger. It becomes, as Dara pointed out to me, even unintentionally, I'm very competitive. And you hit me, and I'm like, you bitch, you think you're going to take me down? You think you're going to hurt me and take me down? Oh, no, game on.
Game on. Rara goes, this is my Everest. I'm going to fucking take it.
And I'm like, you're going to have to hit me harder than that if you want to win this battle. It's not going to happen.
And in Rara's mind, she always wins.
I do. Well, I should, in my mind, shouldn't I? It's my mind. Why would I want to lose in my own little world?
Yeah, you're starting to make yourself seem like you just live in a fantasy world here.
We're all just living in Rara's world. I thought we had established that.
It's a Rara world. Life in pink.
See, yeah.
Doesn't stink.
We're going to work on that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
That was a work in progress, obviously.
So, yeah, so it almost as if it pushes my buttons enough to make my inner strength be my outer strength. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Pushes your butt, too.
Pushing my butt, my buttons, all that. And so it reminds me very much that no matter what life hands you, I'm gonna come out of it and I'll be fine.
You're a lemonade kind of person?
Yep.
Yeah.
A pink lemonade.
Oh, of course, pink lemonade. Why would we ever have anything other?
Duh.
There is no such thing as regular lemonade. Clearly. In Rara world.
In Rara world.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, wouldn't that be a funny party? Just the theme is Rara world.
Yeah, I thought that was every one of my parties.
Oh God.
Do you not notice that when for my parties I almost always have pink lemonade? There's water and there's lemonade.
No,
and
that's
the lemonade's
not true.
pink.
You had yellow lemonade
because I did
because you ran out.
I ran out very much.
This is one of the ones that I never really thought about, but I would put this in a self-care category. Hello. Creative expression.
Okay.
Which you don't normally think of creating the scene as your creative expression, but it really is when you break it down. So you've got your scene design. You need your correct implements. You need the correct sort of... Are you going to use an X frame? Are you going to use a spanking bench? Are you going to use a massage table? Or are you going to just lay on the floor? Are you going to use a bed with lots of rose petals because you want it more sensual and intimate? Are you going to need the full dungeon experience? Do you need a wooden chair with shackles on it?
You know, it's really funny that you mentioned that
Which
because, well, the idea of the creative expression.
Mm-hmm.
Because last night in my scene with Naughty and Nice, I did something that I hadn't really done before, where in the middle of the scene, I had her lay down on the ground and I kicked and stomped her.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt very creative in that moment. And it took the scene to a different level and it was fun. And then, of course, I like looking the expressions on people's faces who just did one of those double takes like, what the fuck is she doing?
It's consensual.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, think about it. Think about our costume design that we put into all the time. Every time we go to a play space, it's costume design. Think about, our props our implements.
My rubber ducky
Your rubber
paddle.
duck, yes, all of that.
The pink rubber chicken.
The role play scenarios that you might come up with. It's just so imaginative, and sometimes you don't think about that, but it really, really is. We call them scenes for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you're putting on like a little play. It's an improv half the time.
Well, you have a basic script.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. You have the script in bullet points, and then you do it, and it becomes sub-bullet points.
Okay. Yes. Good job.
Thank you.
You
very
love
much.
to have your little bullet points, don't you?
I do. It's the Virgo in me loves it. Yes.
So everything down to, say, what type of rope you're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to add anything? What, like if you're doing shibari, I mean, how you can't get much more creative than that. That's an art form. Or like Rara coming up with her little songs in the middle of playing. That I would say is definitely creative. So it's not as far-fetched as you think it is. It's not as far-fetched as you think it is. Talking is really more difficult than I was anticipating today. And I didn't dungeon last night. But I just think that's really cool how you've got so many different, like, seriously, it's a set. And as a theater dork, this is really awesome to think about. And I don't think I ever actually put that together. It's a scene.
Yeah. And especially for somebody like me, who's an exhibitionist, I'm definitely putting together a whole play for the audience.
An interactive play.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how I feel when I come up with different things to do group scenes, different group games for Electro or the Tinsel or anything like that. It's creating an interactive, what do you call those things when they're at like museums? It's an interactive
Exhibit.
Yeah, I feel like an interactive exhibit, you know? It's really neat. Or like when you're doing sensory play, are you going to do hot, cold, both? What props are you going to use for that? Are you going to use ice dildos? Are you going to use an ice cube? Yes, I did that on purpose. And the rubber costumes that people wear, those are intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I specifically said costume because I'm speaking like it's a play.
Yeah.
So I just think that's all really, really cool. And then the last thing that I never actually put it together either, erotic writing.
Okay.
We have several authors in our little group.
We do.
That do erotic storytelling or read them or whatever it is. But they write romance, they put BDSM in it, and that's a creative outlet that still uses BDSM. The writing itself is the self-care. You could write erotic stories. You could literally write your own porn, and that would still be self-care if you were the kind of person that needs that writing outlet. Journaling your fantasies.
Yeah. And a lot of times, too, when you do that, like you do it when you've got things that didn't necessarily go right. So now you create the scene where things did go the way you wanted to.
Yep.
Or maybe there's something you need to tell somebody and you're hesitant to tell them. So you do the writing to help you plan it.
Yeah. I think that's fun. I've never personally done that. But now I'm thinking of doing something like kinky story dice, where you roll the dice and it gives you the setting and the character and the scene, and you have to write something with that. I think that'd be like a really funny game.
Improv.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Have you ever seen Triple X Monopoly?
No.
I found it once a really long time ago, but you have a regular Monopoly board, but then you put all the stuff in it having to do with kink, and it goes like harder and harder and harder, and the payment is like, you know, a blowjob, or like if you land on somebody else's space, depending on how hard you want to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I always thought that was really cool. Like kinky board game. We need to find one of those.
Or make one.
Sure. I'll get right on that in all my spare time. You certainly don't have any spare time.
Nope.
Okay, so another thing that kink can do is embracing authenticity. And again, I never thought about putting this in a self-care kind of thing. Have you?
No.
So what kink does, though, is it encourages individuals to embrace their authentic selves without judgment or shame. And you know what? Lord knows there's a lot of judgment and shit.
Shame.
Okay.
Sorry.
I saw that coming, actually. in the kink world. So like littles, for example, people in the kink world still judge that, or pet play. But once you find your people, once you find everybody who's into that with you, it's not shameful. You found your people, you're good to go. So the self-exploration and awareness part, you engage in consensual power dynamics, and this allows you to explore different aspects of yourself. It includes your desires, your boundaries, your reactions to things, and this leads to an increased self-awareness, a deeper understanding of your own needs and your own preferences. So that goes into building confidence and self-esteem. Within the dynamic of having, if it's a consensual and supportive environment, because if not, it's not kink, it's abuse. Just saying, putting it out there. It is meant to increase your confidence. It is meant to give you a boost in self-esteem. Even the humiliation play and the objectification play, the object in the scene, of course, is to break you down, but at the after part of it, you are more fulfilled, you're built up, you feel better. And one of the ways you can do this is, and I'm still thinking humiliation play because the point of humiliation play is to take you down, but even within humiliation play, you still have boundaries. You still have limits.
Absolutely.
You have clear communication of your desires. And afterwards, you have the affirmation of your autonomy, of your dynamic. It's actually really gorgeous how that turns out at the end. And, before you say that doesn't happen in all, it should.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Ideally.
We recognize that not every dynamic is healthy.
Yeah. What you're going for is the boost of the self-esteem. You're going for the personal growth. It's kind of like a self-discovery thing and getting to your authentic self. So again, I'm going to bring it back to Rara.
Uh-oh.
In your kink journey, in all of your exploration, in all of your scenes and your costuming and your props, do you feel more your authentic self now?
Fuck yes.
See? It's personal growth. It's finding yourself.
I actually had an interesting conversation with somebody who was asking me, did I feel shame when it came to kink? Because a lot of people struggle with
shame.
With the fact that they like this. They like to be hurt. They like hurting somebody. They like kinky sex and all that.
We have personally talked about that, how we struggled with that.
And my feeling is more, if there's anything I struggle with, it's the fact that I like to be hurt. That's it. But I said, actually, no, I don't feel shame. Just the opposite. I felt shame when in my vanilla world because I didn't think like other people did. And I didn't like what other people liked. And it made no sense. And I felt like the odd man out. So finding kink was like, I get it now.
And now you have your smut lovers, people that you fit in with, because you were talking about before how you used to feel kind of odd man out for that too.
Yeah, I didn't tell people that I was reading basically porn in a book.
So that actually leads into the next point.
I try.
Very well done.
Thank you. I didn't read the notes.
Breaking societal norms.
Oh yeah, yep.
And it even breaks the norms within the kink world. Well, Rara and I do. Not a huge amount of people really do this yet, but we're working on it. Where we're the doms.
Yeah. I actually wore my Not All Dominants Are Male shirt last night. Beautiful.
But it breaks within regular society as a whole. We break within the kink society. We like breaking shit.
Yeah. I'm not very good when people tell me I can't do stuff.
Well, you know me and the whole oppositional defiance part.
Yeah.
You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's more if you tell me to do it, I'm not going to do it. But yeah.
We can try.
So we break gender roles. We break sexuality expectations. We break expectations within relationships. I'm going to bring it back to my mom yesterday who read me this thing. I know. She's such a boomer. She can't help it. But she read me this huge ass long paragraph that she was so shocked at that somebody posted. One of her friends posted it on Facebook. So she's reading it to me and I'm like, Mom, you're like 10 years late on this shit. But okay, we'll go with that. It was the line where my husband, or No, it was written from the perspective of the husband, and he's talking with a buddy, and the buddy said, you know, I did this in the house and my wife didn't even thank me. And the husband's like, well, I do this and I don't expect thanks because I'm not helping her. I live there. I take care of my kids because they're my kids too.
You mean you're not babysitting them?
Right. It was this whole inspirational thing of, you know, women, the man finally taking responsibility for shit in the house, right? I'm like, Ma, that's old. That's like really old. And men don't do that shit anymore, at least not the younger ones.
They're not supposed to.
Yeah, well, the younger generations have sort of broken out of that a little more because we're all busting through these gender norms at this point. So it's a lot better than it used to be. But I lucked out. I got an absolute clean freak as a husband, which kind of pisses me off sometimes, but at least he cleans up after himself. Cleans up after me too, which kind of pisses me off, but whatever. I'm not done using that fucking spoon, dude. Stop putting it in the dishwasher and I have to go get a new spoon.
My mom, I would literally lift the fork of food up to my mouth, would slide her hand under and pull the plate out so she could go wash it and put it in the dishwasher.
Were you done?
It was the last forkful.
But what if you wanted seconds?
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother issue. I was not allowed seconds.
Ew.
That was, you're big enough, honey. You don't need seconds.
Oh, no. Fuck that shit. I'd be like eating it. Mom, take my plate. I would eat it out of the pot.
Yeah.
Because, again, oppositional defiance and also fat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so what we're looking for is things like we like the freedom from judgment. And, again, I'm not saying the kink world is perfect for that because the judgment exists in the kink world.
We're humans.
We're going to judge. But it's less judgy, I guess, than regular society norms.
Or at least different judgy.
So like we don't judge on you want to be a complete slut and go for it. Like, hell yeah, go be your slutty self. Like, we love that for you. But if you're going to be a slutty little or a slutty puppy, that's a little more. So there's some things that we could be still working on. Okay, so this is the part that I thought was really cool. The intimacy and connection with your partner. I never would have thought of, I thought of this as a result of BDSM.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put it in like the self-care kind of thought process, it really does work. So you need a very high level of trust in this community.
Yeah, to do some of the stuff we do. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how much trust Naughty and Nice had to have to be literally hooked from her skin and hung from the ceiling and fly.
Oh, the amount of trust she gave me by being willing to lay down on the floor and let me stomp and kick her.
I mean, this shit is intense. And you two have grown closer, more intimately connected because of this.
It's actually a very beautiful circle. We've gotten closer because of this, which then allows us to talk about like non-kink stuff and share vulnerabilities and be mentally and emotionally intimate that way, which brings us closer, which allows us to do stuff in kink,
yeah, it's
which brings us closer.
It's a continuing cycle of closeness. And yeah, that started because of kink, though. I would say the starting point was you started to get a little closer to doing kink stuff, and that drew you closer in. And, yeah. So it's like a really awesome spiral of stuff. And you get more emotional intimacy. You get a stronger connection, and it doesn't matter if you're a romantic partner or not, because you're not romantic partners with Naughty and Nice.
No, there is. Just in case you
better
guys weren't
communication
sure,
skills.
You can be emotionally intimate with somebody who's not a romantic partner.
Very easy.
Sometimes easier.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. No, Rara and I are very close, very emotionally connected.
Okay, but we fucked.
Okay,
so I don't know that you can count that twice.
We're not a romantic partner anymore.
No, but we fucked twice.
True.
I don't think we were a romantic partner when we fucked, but that's beside the point.
No, that's true. Actually, so I would say that was our turning point.
Yeah.
That was when we became we were like, oh shit, yeah, okay, we can do this. But we were never romantic.
No.
That wasn't a romantic fucking.
No, it was not. It was just a pure fucking.
It was intimate, but it was not romantic at all. That was like, hey, I basically service topped you. So there was nothing romantic about that. Okay, but it has helped us with communication as well. I know that it helps people, like honest, open communication is something that we always try to say, do that. because most of the time, any issues that you've got can be cleared up with the communication. It involves sharing fantasies. How the fuck are you going to learn and grow and get to do the shit that you want to do if you don't share that you want to do them?
Yep.
I mean, seriously. I've seen in the chat, in the blood play chat, aren't you guys like sharing different patterns and stuff now?
Oh, yeah.
That would be considered sharing fantasies of what you want to do.
Well, the whole thing to be able to feel, that's why we have our own little chat so that you know to avoid that.
Yeah, but if it pops up, I'm going to read it because...
Okay, then you've consented.
Yes.
You do know in Discord you can...
Mute a channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a mod, so I have to read everything.
I'll take care of that one for you. It's okay. I'm not going to make you do something you don't want to do. I should say that. Let me rephrase that. I'm not going to make you do blood stuff you don't want to do. Other stuff I'll make you do.
Okay. Sure, like an episode?
But not blood.
Okay, cool. I'll mute that.
Okay.
Why is my thing going nuts here? Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay?
I'm good.
Right.
My whole iPad went completely batshit.
And here's the thing, too, you need to be able to feel comfortable enough that I can, like, again, talk about, like, the kicking and stomping, that I feel comfortable enough that I can say to Naughty Nice, this is what I want to do. And they're not going to look at me like, what the fuck is your problem, you sick fuck, that you want to do this to me?
Well, there's the absence of judgment. There's the fantasy because she wants to do it too. And when you say this to her, does she set any boundaries with you?
She did, in the sense of from a physical standpoint, because, she didn't want it to be too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's fine for her to set those boundaries.
I mean, it's good to set boundaries. That's good. So that's communication. That's learning to stand up for yourself. That's being more assertive. And then the other part of this is it develops mindfulness and presence. So we talk a lot about how when we're with a partner, when we're doing a scene, we are zeroed in on that person, locked in. Awareness of other things around us kind of goes down a bit. You can't be fully unaware.
I can't, because of the fact that, at least the way my particular scenes are set up, from it, just literally a space issue, is the amount of times that I have to warn people, if you don't move, you're going to become a part of the scene and I will hit you.
Yeah. Well, I've got my sign that says, don't touch stuff or you will be shocked.
Yeah, mine says don't touch the toys, and people still touch the toys because reading is hard.
Apparently, but the little part about you will be shocked kind of like scares them, I think. And I'm like, good, get the fuck away. But the way I have my station usually set up is because I am aware that I go full deep into the scene with the person. A lot of times when I do my thing, I'll engage with the audience and stuff, but that to me is the scene.
Right.
I am in the scene. Anybody who's watching, any audience members, they're now part of the scene. If they're talking to me, they're in it. I've not noticed shit that is outside my scene purview.
I can do that when I have parties and it's here in my house, and the way that I've set up my dungeon and the fact that I know the people around me understand the concept. They don't get in my space. I don't have to worry.
Right.
And be aware. But when I'm in the public dungeon, I've never been able to just tune the rest of the world out.
I almost do it to a fault. Like, it's a problem sometimes. But most of the time, if I am including the audience people, the people watching in my scene, that's enough. Because I have it set up so that I cannot accidentally reach out and shock somebody.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, the way I have my whole table set is they would literally have to come around and do it on purpose.
And then they deserve whatever happens to them.
And then they absolutely 100% deserve it. Yep. I will not feel bad for that. But if I'm on the other side of the table, if I climb up on the table, then yes, there's an increased risk, and I'm more aware of that, and I can pull myself out of that hyper-focus situation. But for the most part, I just let it go, and I
think it's also the ADHD. Hyper-focusing is very common.
Yeah, this is one of the only times that I really hyper-focus, though. So, like, this week, I got super hyper-focused to the point where I was doing it at work, and I probably shouldn't have. I was doing stuff on, with AI, and I was having so much fun. I just kept doing it and ignoring what I was actually supposed to do So that part was a problem. But normally I can kind of balance stuff out a little better. Doing electro is one of the only times that I really, really zone in to the exclusion of everything else. So yeah, the last thing that I really want to talk about, and I thought this was so fucking cool. Again, something I never really thought of as
a benefit.
I mean, I know it's a benefit of being in kink, but remember when we were talking about what is self-care that has nothing to do with tasks?
Yes.
This is kind of where I'm going with this.
Okay.
It's the community support and validation. You get that endorphin rush from that as well.
Oh, I sure as hell do, yeah.
Well, we know you do. Rara needs daily validation.
It's a praise kink.
We all know you have a praise kink. And you need the daily affirmations. Rara, you're so pretty.
Thank you.
You have such gorgeous hair.
Thank you. Not today so much, but yes.
Why don't you believe me when I tell you you have beautiful hair? Do you have a problem with accepting compliments?
Only when I've looked in the mirror and I know what the hell my hair looks like today.
Yeah, Daddy J does that shit to me all the time. I'm like, no, wait, what the fuck? Are you blind?
If you want to tell me the color's pretty, that's fine. But if you want to tell me that it looks pretty, no, I have Hermione hair today. It's humid here.
Oh, why do you think my hair is up in a bun? This shit ain't coming down today. I'm going to wash it and pray that it doesn't come out poofed tonight. Engaging in kink gives you that sense of belonging, the validation. We talked about that earlier where you're like, fuck yeah, these are my people. I feel this now. I feel the support. I feel the love. These people are my people. And that is comforting.
Okay. I just had a very stray thought go through my head.
Oh, dear God, what?
People who beat people are the luckiest people in the world.
No, you didn't. How dare you?
Sorry.
How dare you? Oh, and she's gone. And she's crying. Everybody drink. We haven't had a drink in a while. Is it coffee we're drinking this time?
Anything.
Okay. Because if it's shots, I don't know about this one.
I amuse myself sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least you amuse yourself.
That's all that matters. It's Rara's world, remember?
You're fucking crying. Look at all of them.
It's Rara's world. I amuse myself. It's all good.
Yeah.
Continue.
We really
so
need
sorry.
to make that song. I'm in Rara world. And then you can add like the beating stuff to it. Yeah, we need to make that a song. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, I just realized.
Oh, yeah?
I get to do you, and I'm going to go pop and say something into the Discord server with no context. Excuse me.
That's normally my job. You can have it
Thank
this
you.
time. That's the sidekick's job.
Thank you. Well,
Clearly.
yes, I don't normally do that, so I wasn't sure, but I got it.
Yes, it is definitely part of the sidekick job description.
Okay.
Okay, so back to the community support and validation part.
You keep going. I'm good.
Alrighty. You got the celebrating diversity part. I mean, you can't, this shit is crazy. I mean, we have diverse tastes, we have diverse sexualities, we have diverse kinks, we have diverse identities, so many different things that you can play with and do. It's really cool. Your preferences, your fetishes, just the sheer individuality. I mean, just look at me and Rara. We like the same things, but not. So like we like medical play, but not the same way. We like hurting other people, but not the same way. We like being hurt, but not the same way. I mean, it's all just really, I'm going to use the word again, who's counting, fascinating. But like for real this time, because it's actually me. Are you done doing your context? Nope. Okay, what are you typing?
Well, I had to find a gif of Barbra Streisand, so I'm good. Just
okay. Wow, you're just really going for, I can't believe you killed that song. Like, how fucking dare you? You're fired.
Keep going.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is, again, inspired by Rara. This whole little part here. Education and resources. That's another benefit that makes you feel better. Once you're involved in it, you get so many, like, there's online stuff, there's in-person stuff. You just got to find it. But you get the resources, you get workshops, you get podcasts. You get events. I mean, just every fucking thing you can think of. What is it you just did? Rain of Blood?
Yes.
I mean, gross, but good for you. And there's Rain of Fire, and there's rope workshops, and there's all kinds of shit that you can find. But it's the access to the information. That's the part that makes you feel better. And again, we were discussing, how do you do something without making it tasks? Find a workshop, explore. I don't know if that can be really considered a task. It's growth. It's promoting your personal growth within kink. Would you consider that a task?
Yeah.
Well, if somebody assigned it to you, yes. But if you're doing it for yourself.
There's no reason you can't assign yourself a task.
That's true. I do it all the time. It's called my checklist for the week.
Yeah.
Or day or whatever. Anyway, so it's developing your skills. It's honing those, the soft skills, the hard skills, like flogging and negotiation are 2 examples of those. Soft skill, hard skill, all that, except the opposite direction. You get stronger in your negotiations. You get stronger in your communication. We've talked about that. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of wrap it up unless you have anything else that you want to add. Like, is there anything like that you've experienced recently where you've had felt like you had a stronger communication?
Well, I feel the fact that I need to really sit down and think about what I like, what I don't like, what I want to do, and then share that information has become really crucial. And finding people who I can share that with who don't look at me like I'm a sick, twisted fuck in the bad way. You can look at me like I'm a sick, twisted fuck in the good way, if you know what I mean.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
So something I thought was really interesting was I had a couple of job interviews recently. And I noticed that because of my time in kink, because of my time in the podcast, I was way more articulate this time in these interviews than I ever was when I first started, like 10 years ago when I did my last interviews. I was a lot more able to explain what I wanted, where I was coming from, where I wanted to go. And I first of all, nailed it. I got both jobs offered. And then I got to pick the best one, which was great. But I noticed that my communication skills have gotten 10 times better. My articulation of my boundaries, knowing what my boundaries are, have gotten so much better. And I don't know if you've noticed it for you either, but your classes have gotten a lot stronger.
Oh, yeah. My classes are definitely much stronger. I feel like I know myself better. Who I am, what I like, what I don't like, what I want, what I don't want, my strengths, my weaknesses. My self-reflection is much, much better.
And are you more able to do scene reflections with somebody afterwards, not just with yourself?
Yeah, I definitely. And through kink, I'm better able to take constructive criticism.
Oh, yeah. I was always really shitty at that as a kid.
Right? Well, nobody wants to be told you did something wrong.
Not the way my mother did it. Yeah, I told you, I made her a rule that she wasn't allowed to talk to me for the first 15 minutes because every single thing was either a chore that I had to do or some sort of criticism for something I did wrong in the first place.
I know. With my mom, it was just everything was wrong. So it was fine. It was just everything. But I feel like it's, in that case, that's a very helpful skill to have, to understand. Like, when people are giving me constructive feedback now, I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's not an insult. It's not a criticism. It's constructive feedback.
Well, there's a difference in how people explain it, too. Like, tone would have something to do with it. So, if I came up to you and I said, oh, my God, Rod, that class, that one part, that was really bad. You need to change that. But I'm not giving you any feedback of how to change it. What I should say instead, if I was using my communication skills properly, would be something like, hey, in this spot, would you add this? I think that would be super helpful and clarify a little.
Yeah, I feel like as a whole, as a kinkster.
Let's not bring the holes back into this.
Oh,
that we
God.
already, that was a lot.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a better person as a kinkster than I was as a vanilla.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know what's weird for me? It's been so long since I've been vanilla. I don't fucking remember. It's been 21 years.
Yeah, for me, it's coming up on, I just celebrated my 9th kinkiversary, but I'm also old, so trying to remember back like 10 years is hard.
I think my 21 years will be official in June.
But I just feel like overall I'm more confident. My communication skills are better. I mean, the fact I'm out of fucks, but that's an age thing. It just works really well in kink versus.
I'm getting there. I'm starting to lose my.
No,
fucks.
sorry. Once you turn that word
50.
No, I was gonna say 40, honey.
Oh. Yeah, no, that hit. I stopped giving fucks.
That's when you start realizing your fuck tank is
running on empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude, I am so there because I'm starting to match people's energy at work. It could also have something to do with the fact that I'm leaving and my fucks are gone for that place at this point because I'm like, screw you.
Lame duck.
But I am loving matching whatever energy people give to me right now. It's great.
But that works within kink too. I mean, in the sense of if somebody wants pain, match that energy. If somebody just wants sensual, you match that energy. Yeah. For me, this entire thing with BDSM self-care, the entire thing with me for BDSM is I found my home.
And that makes you feel good.
And that does make me feel good. I found my people. I found my home. I use BDSM as a form of therapy for me. Like, it was interesting. So I went through about 2 weeks ago, I went through a funk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have clinical depression, so it's not that. It was just a funk. And that happens. We're human. But I had realized as I was going through that funk that part of what happened is I hadn't been to the dungeon in a month.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Which for me is really weird because I had been to events, but it wasn't in the dungeon where I was beating somebody. I had been to the leather event. I had taught classes. So I'd been doing, quote unquote, kinky stuff. I just hadn't been in a dungeon where I was either beating somebody or being beaten. And
you weren't doing the hard shit.
Yeah. And it was messing with my mental state.
And then you did go to the dungeon and you got your mojo back and you flew at me with all this new stuff.
Oh my God,
kink.
poor Dar. Just like all of a sudden I'm going, okay, so I decided I wanted to do more digital stuff that people can buy in Etsy shop. So boom, 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 here's 3 things.
Like literally 3 things in an hour. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? Give it to me a little bit less at a time. Damn.
But that's where the BDSM is self-care for me.
Yeah, it got your mojo back.
Uh-huh.
So any way you look at it, there's just all kinds of ways to do BDSM as self-care. It doesn't necessarily have to be hitting yourself with a paddle.
Yeah. In this case, I was working on BDSM workbooks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking kinkily.
Kinkily thinkling.
Yes, that. I don't think I could say that if I tried.
I'm going to end on that note. Because that's stupid as shit.
And if we've reached the stupid stage, it's time to go, kids.
Yeah, we're tired. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to show support, there are several ways. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can support our affiliates or help spread the word about our kinky podcast to your friends.
Don't forget to rate and review Pink Kink on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our link tree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pretty, stay safe,
and stay twisted.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Brianna Lynn, Daddy J, Fabe, Embers, Blossom, William P, Claire, Lady Blooding, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Cat, Stefan, Shadow Phoenix, Kilted Sir, Brian, May Cry Devil, Ruby Riot, Mistress Velma, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, AK Harley Chick, Violet Rain, Serenity, Belle, Eric, Lady Affliction,
Dr. Dave, Pumpkin Pie, Ms. Tourmaline, S'more, Hacksaw, Wee Mad Beastie, To Be Better For Me, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Forrest, BP Bryn, Crash Override, Iro, Kinky Bear, Sviper No Swiping, Barbie, Navigator Bard, Frost, Sinful and Naughty, Coffee and Chaos, Noir, Haley's Comment, Mr. Pillsbury, Stitch, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Princess Sassy Pants, Lady and Lex, Chaos Monster, Casper, Hazel Page, Jessa Lady, DJ Harlow, Ophelia, Master A, and Drew.